it's time for Emerald Eats, where we highlight delicious food in our area. And today we're actually tasting and learning to make some amazing new items from the menu at Wero in Ballard.
Yes, and for that we are joined by the owner, Wes Yu. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
Good
good
to
to be
see
back.
you. Yeah, and you've got a new dish on the menu.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Tell us about them.
The first dish that we're going to make is a marinated pork shoulder. So what we do with the pork shoulder is a group of muscles, a group of different cuts. We extract what's called a copa, which you might see in the deli case as a capicola sometimes.
Oh yes.
So we take that barrel cut as well as sort of the pork equivalent of zabuton, which is usually a term for beef. That's also called a Denver steak. Those are sort of the two best parts of the pork shoulder. So we extract that and marinate it and make the marinade is inspired by a Korean dish called mekjuk, and mekjuk is actually a super traditional historic dish that dates back to the earliest recording of it is like the 4th century.
Wow.
Yeah, and some people say, some historians say that was sort of the beginning of Korean grilled meats.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is your take on this historic dish.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So let's get started on that portion. What do we do first?
Well, for some TV magic, I actually have these sort of pre-cooked, but we're just going to warm it up so we can taste it deliciously.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like pork can be pretty tricky sometimes. So what's your trick to making sure that you've cooked it well?
Really, the trick is, a lot of the recipes, out there that you might find online or whatever, they all say high heat, medium heat, which means nothing, right?
Right,
Because
right.
it depends on what range you have, what stove you have. So a lot of it is just knowing what kind of heat level you're working with.
Yeah.
And, just work with your eyes, just examine it. If you feel like it's browning too fast, then lower the heat. And just, you want to make sure that the cook goes all the way through without burning the outside of it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great tip. And what's this right here?
So this is a sort of a stir fry of onion and fava bean pods. So we're gonna actually, this is a sort of a seasonal thing. We're working with a lot of local farmers. So we have local fava beans that we're gonna plate this on. The fava bean itself, which we'll see in a little bit, I have been pureed with perilla oil. And so once we shuck the fava beans, we have all the pods. We want to make use of that. So fava bean pods and onions, we cut it, we julienne it as we call it, which means thin strips. Yeah, and we have a little stir fry, and yeah, we'll taste it all together.
Look at that. So it's kind of like a hummus, would you say?
It's gonna have a consistency of hummus.
Okay.
It will taste nothing like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Bring
excited
it
for you to
on.
try it. It's very summery, but it is a really, really unique taste.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. So we've got good food, some soju drinks. You're also adding a salad to your menu. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so let's head on over and take a look here. And yeah, Carly, I know you're a vegetarian, so I got the salad
Let me
here
just
for you.
sanitize these hands and get right in here.
So we have these really, really cute little lettuce leaves.
Yes, they are.
So this is what a whole head looks like there in the corner.
Okay.
These are mini green butter lettuce.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're using these tiny whole leaves, and we have a dressing here.
Okay.
And this is a dressing that we make with yuzu juice and honey, local honey from Lakewood, Washington.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and a couple other things.
Cool.
But what
secret.
so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little drizzle of the dressing.
Perfect.
And if you want to use I have a couple of big spoons there.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to give it a little toss.
Sure.
Yeah.
Toss. How am I? What's the trick to tossing it well?
I think you're doing a great job,
Dedication?
actually.
Yeah.
You want to work light and delicate, right? Yeah. Exactly.
Move the shoulders.
The thing you don't want to do with the
dorky
greens
dance move.
is smush them.
Yeah.
That's something that happens sometimes, yeah.
This smells super good. So what should I put in next?
So actually, we're actually going to plate this just as is, and then we're going to place all the toppings afterwards, and then we're going to give it another drizzle of dressing.
On this one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
I'll stick this on here.
Yeah, so if you want
and
just-
just kind of dump it in here?
yeah,
All right.
there's no wrong way. It's food in a bowl,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Thank you for keeping it simple.
Yeah,
Reasonable.
let's not overly complicate things. And then on this, I'm going to give it a couple other things here. So we have, this is called purslane, which is sort of considered like a weed. But those who know about it, this is also considered a superfood. It's super nutritious and, got a lot of flavor going on with it.
I love a
So,
superfood.
We'll give it that. And I have some, these are some shaved shallot rings.
Ooh.
Yeah, so, just again, it's just food in a bowl. You know,
Yeah.
let's not overthink this. Right?
It does look pretty when you do it that way.
Yeah, and then I have some fire roasted corn, and I cut these off sort of carefully so I can keep them in these pads, if you will. That makes it so it looks nice, but also it's kind of easier to eat. You know, sometimes there's like all these corn kernels in a salad.
Yeah, little pieces,
Yeah, and then when you're done, you just have a little, you know, a gathering of corn kernels at the bottom, you know. And these are called Kyojia beets, which also called candy stripe beets, because of the look. Here, I'm gonna give this.
I was going to ask if it was a radish.
Yeah, no, it actually looks a lot like it, but once you taste it, you'll go, that is a beet for sure.
Oh, very nice.
There you go. And I got some. These are some zucchini and yellow squash. So summer squashes in season.
Yeah,
Hit up your farmers markets that I sort of grilled and baked in the oven.
Yes.
I like how vegetable heavy this is. This is great.
And just some toasted pine nuts.
Yum. That's something I don't buy to put on my salads at home, but it's always fancy when you go out and get a pine nut on something.
Yes.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they are.
That's true. That is true.
This is just some oil that one of my cooks actually made with some beetroot tops.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very nice,
and then
very
I'll give it
nice.
another dressing of the another drizzle of the dressing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
A little flaky salt.
Yeah, that's good to go.
Look at
You got
that.
folks over there if you want to give it a
There you
try.
go.
Yes,
Get
thank
these out of your
you.
way.
Beautiful. And now we still are working on the pork shoulder over here.
Yes.
Beautiful. So what's next there?
So we have the.
What do you think? I'm sorry. I have to know. I have to
I
know.
love the dressing on this.
Yeah.
This is so yummy and so light. Oops.
Very
there goes
bright.
the corn. That's okay.
Awesome. Okay, so what are we working on over here?
So this is the fava bean puree that I was talking about. So we puree the fava beans with some perilla oil. Perilla is a plant that is often confused with sesame or even shiso, but it is its own thing that is very commonly used in Korean cuisine. And we have the fava bean pods and onion.
Beautiful.
So we'll give it a little bed for the meat to sit on.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then if I can just push this aside.
Yes.
Look at how
They
colorful.
kind of match too. I like
They're so
that.
pretty.
Yeah, you know, it's summertime. We got to see a lot of greens and a lot of
yeah, we
colors.
do.
It's the food version of us.
Yeah.
You know,
There you go.
always colorful but very different. You know. Wonderful. You're just chopping this up. It
Yeah,
looks like
we're
it's
gonna
got
get
a
this.
great sear.
I'll get this sliced up for you so it's easy to eat.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah, so the bigger piece here is what's called a copa, and then we have the zabuton that I was talking about right here, right on top.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then to that I'm gonna add some. These are just some pickled red onions.
Beautiful.
Are some of my favorite things. So simple, but it's delicious. Adds a lot of
Onions really
flavor.
take everything to the next level.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Fun fact, hello in Korean is pronounced annyeong, which sounds a lot like onion. Yeah.
안녕하세요.
There you go, yes. Yeah. There's some chai batons. And then this is a nasturtium flour, which has like some
pretty.
pepperiness to it. Yeah, give a little of that. Some sesame seeds.
Look at this.
And a little more flaky
Beautiful.
salt.
Can I
And then
jump in?
Go right ahead.
Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Let's see.
And Carly, if you want to actually grab the other fork and taste this guy,
Oh, yeah, I
please
would
feel
love
free.
to. I'll just use my salad
There
fork.
you go, yeah.
Wes,
So good.
This is so good. Thank you so much. We posted more info on Wero on our website, fox13seattle.com/studio13live. See you tomorrow.